Hello everyone, welcome to Analog IAS Current Affair Analysis for 6th January 2021. In this video, we'll be discussing this couple of issues. Recently, the Prime Minister has inaugurated the Kochi-Mangalore LNG pipeline. We are not talking just about this article, rather we would use this opportunity to discuss about the importance of national gas grid and why this is important for our future's economy. So before that, let us understand certain technical details. Let us understand what natural gas means. Where do we find this natural gas? What is the difference between piped natural gas, compressed natural gas, and liquefied petroleum gas? To begin with, liquefied petroleum gas and natural gas, these two are different things. They are very different chemically. Natural gas is methane, whereas LPG or liquefied petroleum gas is propane or butane. There is a higher energy content for LPG, so less LPG gas would be needed to produce the same amount of energy. Just to put things into context, the energy content for LPG is 93.2 megajoules per meter cube. When you compare that with natural gas, it is just 38.7 megajoules per meter cube. So it is not important to remember this number. You just have to understand that for a given unit, LPG produces more amount of energy. So the difference between LPG and natural gas is that they are different gases with different distribution, as well as different energy content, density, and all the other physical properties. So LPG is actually stored in the form of a liquid, as the name indicates, whereas natural gas, as the name indicates, is a gas. So these are the basics that are important for preliminary examination. Now the second concept that we have to understand, this natural gas, what is the difference between PNG, LNG and CNG? Let us understand the fact that natural gas is different from liquefied petroleum gas. We have already discussed that. So whether it is CNG, LNG or PNG, we are basically talking about the natural gas, that is methane. So when we say PNG, it is piped natural gas. When we say CNG, it is compressed natural gas, and LNG is liquefied form of natural gas. Basically, they denote the mode of transportation of the natural gas. At this juncture, one might have a doubt as to why we are preferring the natural gas over the liquefied petroleum gas. For starters, liquefied petroleum gas is much cheaper. It is true that it is cheaper, but the fact that this is much more environment friendly is the reason why we are moving towards natural gas, and this is produced in huge quantity. Even though the efficiency is much less than LPG, it produces a little quantity of greenhouse gases when compared to the LPG. That is the reason for moving towards a gas based economy. That is exactly the reason as to why our government is moving from the present 6% level to 15% by 2030, through which we will have our energy security through natural gas. So this is the background of the entire concept of natural gas and why we are moving towards a gas based economy. Now let us understand the policy matter, that is the national gas grid. If you have to understand the basic idea with which national gas grid was envisioned, we have to understand the regional imbalance within the country. What is this regional imbalance? Say, for example, there are a lot of parts in the country, say, for example, northeast, then you can consider the hinterland, which are hitherto undeveloped, like states like UP, Rajasthan, etc. They have historically been not able to access natural gas and ensure that clean and green fuel is available. As a result, women in these states still depend upon the traditional fuels like wood, dried cow dung, etc. This has resulted in uh, a rise in indoor pollution and has impacted the lives and quality of life of a lot of rural women. In a new welfareistic stand by the center, through its schemes like Ujala or Pradhan Mantri Ujjwal Yojana, the government has decided to give access to the clean and efficient fuels throughout the country through subsidized gas cylinders. Now, it will be a scheme wherein it will increase the cost of distribution. So, a necessity was felt to reduce the cost and to remove this regional imbalance within the country. National gas grid was envisioned. So, under this national gas grid, the entire country will be connected through a piped network across the states. So, gas sources will be directly connected to the major demand centers and ensure availability of gas to consumers in various sectors. Now, what will be the implication of this policy measure? We have to understand that. So, gas delivered via pipeline in urban households would minimize the use of gas cylinders. These empty gas cylinders can be shifted to rural areas. That is the main intention here. Because in rural areas, having access to these piped networks is very difficult and it is not cost effective for the stakeholders involved. So, these gas empty cylinders will be shifted to the rural areas and cooking gas can be delivered there. This will boost the accessibility to clean cooking fuel and empower the lives of women there. Secondly, natural gas is less costly when compared with other conventional fuels like LPG if done on scale. Pipeline delivery comparatively immunizes against the inflation of transportation costs. Say if there is any transport strike by logistics sector, this will artificially increase the prices of the transportation. So all that can be removed. So significantly, the cost of uh, delivery will become much cheaper in the longer run. And natural gas is obviously cleaner fuel when compared with the liquefied petroleum gas, as we have already discussed. And natural gas fireplaces can reduce up to 99% of the number of pollutants. And industries which use dirty fuels like bunker oil, etc., which are extremely polluting, can be replaced with natural gas. Most importantly, this project would bring down government subsidy to LPG. Subsidy cost will be decreased in the longer run. So this requires a significant amount of money to be gathered in the initial phases to build this natural gas grid. So there are certain issues involved because there is a lack of adequate compensation to be paid over whose land the pipe is being laid. Land acquisition is a major problem. Subsequently, there are legislative constraints as well, wherein if you take the example of power sector, it is a concurrent subject. However, petroleum and therefore gas, because natural gas is produced as a byproduct of petroleum extraction and purification. This is in union list. So how can the gas pipelines, which will spread into the remotest corners of the state, will be decided unilaterally by the central government? This is a breach of federal principles. Third, there is a problem with safety. What happens if a major industrial disaster occurs? So the dealers will have to educate the consumer regarding the new system, and this safety concerns will be a big issue. The next problem is irregularity. What happens if supply is irregular? Today we have gas burners and gas stoves to supplement these cylinders. But in the absence of these cylinders completely in the ecosystem, how are we going to address this supply issue? We cannot avoid addressing these particular issues. So that is the basic issue of the importance of gas based economy. Now if we take a look at this specific news, uh, we are talking about a 450 kilometer gas pipeline which was inaugurated by the prime minister. from Kochi to Mangaluru. So this is the important point that you have to note here. This is one more addition to the national gas grid. So the chief minister of Kerala has commented that this will give an impetus to the industrialization, because like I've told you, when you have access to clean fuels, more and more industries will come up in this sector. Also, if you take a look at the larger picture, the reason why natural gas is all the more important is we can produce a natural gas through a biotechnological process called methanogenesis. So, by using microorganisms which can turn organic matter into natural gas, we can even produce this artificially as well using this methanogenic organisms. So, this will also add value to the economy in areas like this. So, it is important to connect these production systems which are unconventional and also ensure that they are connected to the national gas grid to address that problem of supply. So this idea holds a huge potential for our economic future and energy security, and it will also help us uh, reduce the reliance upon fossil fuels. So that is the entire concept of this LNG pipelines and the national gas grid concept. In farm debate, missing R&D. So in any business, the basic funda is this: input cost should be lower, and it should be much less than the revenue. Only then that business is successful. Now let us take agriculture as a business. The input costs are heavily uh, skewed against the odds that are faced by the farmers. So input cost is very high, and the problem is price discovery. So there is no proper mechanism to ensure price discovery. So this article focuses on how to reduce the input costs and why R&D as such is completely missing from the debates we are having on farms. So one way to look at this is, if we can actually reduce the cost of inputs, price discovery will be much more easier. In this, R&D plays a very important role. So let us examine the various inputs that are uh, going into agricultural sector. We have seeds, we have water, we have land, we have fertilizer, and all this will be a part of the agricultural business. So at every sector we have a problem. With respect to seeds, we have to ensure that farmers get quality seeds and balance them with the intellectual property right debate that we have with respect to our multinational companies. Similarly, water management. Water management is one of the major issues because a lot of areas in our country, despite depending just on agriculture, do not have access to proper irrigational facilities. So dryland farming as well as rain-fed farming is very prevalent in a lot of parts in our country. The next one is land is very fragmented, so we don't achieve the economies of scale. And the next one is with respect to abuse of fertilizers because of skewed policies like subsidies for only a few fertilizers, especially urea. So a lot of funds are wasted. Improper management plan with respect to application of fertilizers has resulted in deterioration of soil quality as well. In this scenario, the most important aspect what we have to focus on is indigenous development of our scientific knowledge, so that we don't depend on other countries and other technologies. So this goes well with our ideology of Atmanirbharta. So whenever we are talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat, we are talking about self-reliance. India, despite having wide scientific knowledge, we are not in a position to leverage that because of lack of funds. Just to put things into context, we are allocating not more than 0.5 to 0.7% of our GDP when advanced economies spend up to 5% of their GDP on research and development. We have to look at this research and development as a investment mechanism for our future, whether it is with respect to biotechnology in the form of seeds or fertilizer. We have to focus both on technical as well as process innovations. So he in this article there are a lot of statistics which are presented to prove this point. You can go through this article patiently, but the overall idea is this: the problem is our policies with respect to MSPs are heavily skewed towards wheat as well as rice. Both these crops are water guzzling crops, and we are net exporters of water. That is to say, even in those areas like Maharashtra, which do not have proper irrigational facilities, they still go for rice cultivation with the hope that they'll get at least minimum support price. Now, legalizing minimum support price will further accentuate this problem, because every farmer will try to produce that crop which will give them enough minimum guarantee. A lot of crops are pushed to the marginal dryland areas which are not having this MSP procurement. So among those are crops like pulses as well as oil seeds. Whenever we are talking about pulses and oil seeds, we have to understand that despite being the largest producers of pulses and oil seeds in the world, we still have to meet a significant amount of our demand through imports. This means that because of the burgeoning population, we are falling short of demand. Now here is where our R&D can come into picture, because not every area is conducive for producing these pulses and oil seeds, and also the cost involved is a bit higher if there is no economies of scale. Given the fact that 86% of our population depend on small and marginal farmers, that is, their land is less than 1 hectare or at max 2 hectares. The implication of this fact is that they cannot go for crops that are not out of MSP regime with the fear of losing their incomes. We cannot blame them. So here is where we have to focus our entire energy on R&D and contract farming. So the most important aspect is we have to focus on those crops which can give significant yields, because there is demand here. Pulses and oilseeds does have demand, but because of lack of productivity, farmers don't go for this. Say for example, if they have only 1 hectare of land, probably they'll get 100 bags of rice. I'm just giving an example here. 100 bags of rice or wheat, for which they'll get an MSP, as compared to just 50 or 60 bags of pulses, which do not get MSP at a wider level when you compare it with rice or wheat. So the solution is not to provide MSP for this pulses and oil seeds also. Rather, the focus should be on R&D development in such a way that productivity increases to meet the demand, in such a way that imports become much more expensive than what is being produced right now. So logically, if we are producing one locally, always the imports will be less desirable. So this goes well with our philosophy of Atmanirbharta, especially in the field of agriculture. Therefore, our investments in R&D should step up, and we also have to partner with private companies for this aspect. That is the gist of this article.